that we catch the individual that's involved with this.
Leaders of a southern Kentucky school are demanding answers after they say someone found a hidden camera in a staff restroom.
An accident report revealing new details about how investigators think an elementary school student ended up being dragged by a school bus.
WKYT investigates how law enforcement leaders and prosecutors in one county are trying to protect our streets from repeat heroin offenders.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you, and thanks so much for being here with us. At first glance, school leaders thought it was a smoke detector, but tonight they say a device found in a staff restroom at a southern Kentucky school was actually a hidden camera.
Someone made the disturbing discovery at Corbin High School, and now investigators are trying to figure out how the camera got there. Phil Pendleton has our top story at 6.
It's not the kind of situation that Superintendent Ed McNeil said he thought he would ever expect to happen at Corbin High School.
It's the first time it's ever happened with us.
Last Monday, a staff worker noticed something that looked out of place in a first-floor restroom that's accessible only to adults.
Well, it looked just like a smoke detector that you'd notice in your home, that you have in your home.
Only inside was a camera put on there to spy on people. School officials are outraged.
Because this is something you're infringing on another person's privacy, and that is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
Cameras hidden in smoke detectors can be bought online at places like Amazon. People might want to spy on people they suspect are doing things they shouldn't. But in this case, the superintendent says it was put there for pure voyeurism.
With the easy access to these types of devices, it really is kind of spooky.
The camera was turned over to police, and we're told that it's being tested at the crime lab. Since the restroom was for staff, school officials say they suspect an adult was behind it, not a student.
Probably the penalty for this will not be as severe as what I would like for it to be.
No other cameras were found in any of the other schools' restrooms. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And school leaders say police are reviewing surveillance video from outside the restroom as part of their investigation. We're tracking a breaking news alert now out of Rowan County. Part of Interstate 64 is closed because of a bad accident. It happened just after 5 in the westbound lanes near mile marker 144. That's east of Moorhead. State police have not released details of the crash, but we have learned the coroner was called to the scene. We're told that one lane of westbound I-64 will reopen soon.
Tonight, we are tracking the investigation into a shooting that left a man injured in Madison County. It happened this afternoon outside an apartment on Hager Drive near Richmond. State police say 63-year-old James Pearson and 52-year-old Brian Ditch got into an argument. At one point, they say Pearson pulled out a gun and shot Ditch. Police say the victim was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. They say they arrested Pearson nearby. Police are now talking to people living in that area.
They recalled seeing the two in some kind of argument here in front of the building, and what they saw and heard is vital in our investigation.
Police don't believe the two men knew each other. They say Ditch was on Hager Drive picking up dogs as part of a dog rescue operation.
Many of you south of Fayette County saw some light snow throughout the day, but looks like we're about to get a break from that wintry weather, at least for a little while. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the First Alert Defender right now. Chris?
Yeah, a little break on the way, as you mentioned, Sam, over the next roughly 48 hours. Then we're back into it. But in the short term, we're tracking those light snows out of southeastern Kentucky. Live camera coming out of the Corbin area, northern parts of Whitley County, along the interstate there on 75. Still dealing with a little bit of some light snow that is falling. You can see the snow on the shoulder of the road and into the grassy areas as well. Contrast that with what's going on in Lexington, where we had a little peak of sun late this afternoon. Now some partly cloudy skies, 29 degrees, but it feels like it is into the low 20s with a wind that is coming at us at around 7 miles per hour. Live First Alert Defender has nothing showing up across the majority of the area except the southeastern corner of the state. Give that another hour or so, and most of those flakes will now be into parts of Virginia and northern Tennessee, though the cloud line is working its way across Interstate 64 right now. Still the threat for a flurry across the south. Most areas dropping and holding into the mid and upper 20s as we go through the rest of that forecast. Coming up with the full outlook in less than 10 minutes, guys, we're going to focus on a January thaw that is ahead of us. Now, it's a small one, but a thaw nonetheless. 7-day forecast comes your way in a matter of minutes.
Thanks, Chris. We know that snow quickly covered roads in Madison County this morning. Police say that led to some crashes. They say on Interstate 75 between Richmond and Clays Ferry, there was one crash every few miles as that snow fell. Most of them were non-injury. Roads have improved, though, across the county tonight. We now know the names of two men killed in a crash yesterday in Lexington. The Fayette County Coroner's Office says that 19-year-old Logan Hayes of Versailles died at the scene. Investigators say he was driving a Civic that hit another car on Versailles Road. And the coroner says Hayes' passenger, Christopher Sterry of Lexington, later died at UK Hospital. Two other people were injured. Police are still investigating what caused that crash. Tonight, we're learning more about a Clark County boy investigators say was dragged by a school bus. Family members say he is dealing with some serious injuries.
And the accident report has new details about how investigators think the boy ended up being dragged down Clintonville Road yesterday. Jordan Valines has the update from UK Hospital.
The 6-year-old boy who was dragged down the road yesterday by a Clark County school bus remains at UK Hospital tonight. I spoke with his mother on the phone this afternoon. She said that he suffered a fractured wrist, broken pelvis, road rash, and cuts to his face. The accident report form filed by the Clark County Sheriff's Office states that surveillance video from the bus shows the child and a daycare worker standing close to the front right corner of the bus. But before they could cross the roadway, the bus driver began to pull away. We're told the young boy's jacket or backpack got caught on part of the bus, and when it started pulling away, the child was pulled with it and dragged across the pavement for about 15 feet. The accident report shows that Tammy Howard was the bus driver, and it claims she was distracted and inattentive at the time of the incident. Today we talked to parents whose children were on the school bus at the time of the accident, and while they didn't want to appear on camera, they did want to voice their opinion.
Well, it's very tragic. It could have happened to anybody's kids. I don't think that the bus driver did it intentionally. I think it was just an accident, but you just got to pay attention. These are our babies out there.
The child's mother remains hopeful that he will be released tomorrow. In Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
The Kentucky Department of Education has an entire chapter in its driver training manual dealing with loading and unloading students. According to state regulations, drivers must check the stepwell and service area outside the bus to ensure that no student is caught in the handrail or in the service door area by clothing, backpack strings, or straps. We have a link to the state regulations manual there for bus drivers on WKYT.com. A man accused of robbing a Lexington bank has been arrested. Lexington police say they found 25-year-old John Nation earlier today at the Howard Johnson on Elkhorn Road. He's been charged with robbery. Police say that yesterday afternoon, Nation robbed the Central Bank on Richmond Road. They say he walked in, pulled out a gun, and demanded money. Police obtained an arrest warrant for Nation last night.
Law enforcement officials call it a revolving door. Convicted heroin dealers in and out of jail, continuing a cycle of crime. One Kentucky sheriff says communication is key. Investigative reporter Miranda Combs shows us what's being done to protect our streets.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court might remember,
you won't see the defendant here. He's in jail and has been for a year.
He has now been in custody almost an entire year since January 23rd, now knowing that he has no prior felony convictions.
She's defending Paul Jackson, a man from Michigan who moved to Franklin County and is now hoping for shock probation.
Mr. Jackson was, while he was operating here in Franklin County, one of the highest level heroin dealers we've had here.
This is an individual that was charged with murdering two separate people in Detroit. Evidently, some people, the witnesses, disappeared, so the charges were dropped.
Sheriff Pat Melton has a vested interest in the outcome of this shock probation hearing.
And I'm not sure there's a case I've had in which I'm more adamantly opposed to probation.
He and his detectives arrested Jackson on trafficking heroin charges, and now a chance he could get out much earlier than his sentence. Jackson's case is an example of a disconnect, the sheriff says, in dealing with heroin dealers.
I think you got to send a very strong message all the way across the board, from law enforcement to the prosecutor's office and the judicial system, that, you know, we're not going to tolerate this.
Melton says right now he's seeing a lot of the same thing. Same people, same crime.
How many times has she been popped?
Our interview was interrupted by what Melton refers to as a frequent flyer.
She's got one prior trafficking in heroin, and then 1 prior trafficking or smuggling contraband into the jail. This girl's name's Tanya Reed. They're with her right now. They just arrested her for trafficking in heroin.
The Durango, it's good.
Her name, along with others, detectives can rattle off as those that repeatedly push through the court system. These 2 men can do the same.
Frustrating?
Yeah, sure it's frustrating. Sure it's frustrating. You know, it's just cleaning up the same mess every day over and over again.
Commonwealth's attorney Larry Cleveland and his assistant, the man you saw prosecuting the Jackson shock probation hearing, say probation and parole is a consequence of sentencing in any case. It's a balancing act for them and for the judges.
We honestly believe that probation is not appropriate in most heroin cases because of the nature of heroin. However, when you're dealing with a small amount of heroin by a first-time offender, you can expect probation to be granted because of jail overcrowding and other concerns.
But Cleveland says his office is always against probation for those making a living selling heroin. But even then, parole is right around the corner for many convicted heroin traffickers after sentencing.
You convict them, you know, it's not the last time you're ever going to see them. You're going to see them again, so, you know, expect it.
A portion of Senate Bill 5 would force convicted heroin dealers to serve at least half of their prison sentences. Right now, Cleveland says 15 to 20% of their sentence served is common.
The joke is, man, that guy didn't even change clothes when he went to the penitentiary. He's back on the street without even changing clothes. And it seems that way a lot of times.
I believe in our judges and our courts and in our judicial system, and you know, they've got a tough job to do.
And right as we were leaving the sheriff's office,
yeah, I just got a text that Paul Jackson was denied his shock probation.
a win. However, since Jackson has served a year already, he could possibly be out of jail in about a year. Still, though, prosecutors say it sends a message to heroin dealers that if they stop here, they'll fight to keep them locked up here as long as the system will allow.
And Paul Jackson was sentenced to 10 years, so a year from now would be 20% of his sentence. Cleveland says the majority of the cases he sees in his office are heroin cases right now.
So the issue is both probation and parole in regards to these heroin dealers getting out early.
Right. If they're not probated early, then parole is probably right around the corner. So like Cleveland said, it's just a revolving door that they have no choice but just to deal with.
An endless cycle. Miranda, thank you.
A dog missing for 10 days is back home tonight, all thanks to Lexington police.
Yeah, this is a great story. Yesterday, some Lexington police officers spotted Allegro running in and out of traffic on Main Street. Police say they were able to save him from being hit by a car, and they took him to animal control. Workers there scanned the dog's microchip and realized he was missing. He was reunited with his owners. How the dog went missing is still a mystery, but his owners are just glad he's home.
Just the constant shares of the community. It's amazing how you feel at a loss when you lose a pet and how nice it feels to complete strangers are like, you know, on the lookout. It feels really good.
Well, the owners say Allegro did okay while away from home. They say he even gained some weight.